As we mentioned at the top of the show, David Lepore of Colleton River has just been named the Teacher of the Year by the Hilton Head chapter of the Carolina section of the PGA. Congratulations. That's kind of a neat honor because there are a lot of great teachers down here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bob. I'm very humbled and very honored
it's
to
well
receive
deserved,
that.
that's for sure.
I think it is. We're going to talk about some of your theories and some of your toys, too. Mm-hmm. It's that time of the year. We got Black Friday and all of that coming up. But, David, I think one misconception people have is because Colleton River is private, that you only can work for the membership at Colleton River. But I could actually call you and get a lesson.
That's right,
I
Bob.
probably need one.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
That's right.
You should call him.
You know, our Golf Academy is open to everybody, and we primarily take care of the membership, and especially this fall with our tournaments and things like that, the courses being in great shape, we really cater to them and take care of them with our 7 building blocks. But we also do take care of people that call us and say, I need help. I need to hit the ball further, or I need to hit it straighter. So we are open to people coming.
And wintertime would be a great time to do that for those of us, get things going. Maybe give that as a Christmas present to someone.
Ooh, that would be a nice gift. Open up in the stocking, a little Colleton
Colleton River, certificate. Do that. I'm sure we could make that work. David, you're here though. Right now, we're going to talk about one of your great toys. It's something the tour guys all use, and you guys are fortunate enough to have at Colleton River. You and Chris, take it away.
Well, David, you have TrackMan, pretty much the standard for measuring all the numbers on the PGA Tour today and filtering down to the club level. Not many pros have access to it, obvious, because the cost is up there pretty good, but tell us a little bit about TrackMan and some of the things we do with it.
That's right, Chris, thank you very much. You know, it's a great piece of technology. It's a great way to get feedback. This is the unit right here, and of course we have the laptop to kind of help support the system. It's interesting, it's a Doppler radar system. This sends a signal and there's 3 Doppler radars in there triangulating and getting the ball information. Now what does that mean for most people at home?
It means there's never a rainy day because you've got Doppler radar, right? Okay.
You know, that's right, Bob.
No, Bob, no, that's not.
All right,
that's not how it works.
Believe it or not, it does work in the rain and it does work in the cold. So rain or shine, not snow, but rain or shine, we'll definitely be out there getting the numbers for the people that they want. So for 10 years, the PGA Tour and other tours have had this elite system where you know they can get their information, they can adjust their equipment, and they can see consistency and have a static way to measure things. This has never been available in the game of golf. You think about that, in 400 years, there hasn't really been a scientific way to quantify the quality of a golf swing. Now we have that way. Of course, going through the PGA Tour for 10 years, they made it available to everybody, and Colleton River is lucky enough to have one, and we love it for our Golf Academy and teaching with it.
The units are pretty expensive, so just so everybody kind of gets an idea, a new unit's just about $30.
Yeah,
correct?
right around $30,000, $25,000, $30,000. But I tell you, it's worth it. It pays for itself in club sales. You know, we do a great job with our merchandising with it.
Which is where launch monitors, when they first came out, that gave all the numbers for the ball and the club speed and all those, and we'll go over some of that in just a little bit. That's really what they were primarily brought out for, was to help in club fitting, and with TrackMan coming along,
That's
it's
right.
been taken to a new level.
That's right, and even local clubs can have this and use it not just for club fitting, but I use it mainly for teaching, and it's a great way to show the person feedback as to how well they're doing and how they can improve, and we do it quickly. We don't do it in a week or two. We do it on the spot so they see tangible results. We send them a report, and then they're off to the races.
What I'd like to do, David, let's talk about it for 1 second. Then when we come back after the break, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the screen and go over the numbers. One of the big misconceptions that we've had, at least in the PGA for a long time, is that path more influences initial ball flight than face, and TrackMan has showed us that.
That's right, and that's club face is 4 times more important than path. So if they're out there grinding on their path and it's not even close to being the right thing, they're going to spin their tires.
That's right, because that's one of the things that everybody thought for years and years. We have ball flight laws in the PGA, and they always thought that initially when the ball was hit, it was more influenced by the path of the club than the face. And TrackMan has showed us that that is in fact not the case.
That's right, Chris.
And that's part of the benefit of having a unit like this, is that you can actually tell somebody right away, look, it really isn't your path, it's your face.
That's right. I've got 100 stories about people that think they're doing one thing, but this thing says they're doing something else.
Well, when we come right back after break, we're going to go over some of the numbers with David. You're watching Golf Center here on WHHI Sports. Welcome back to Golf Center. We're here with David Lepore of the Colleton River Plantation Club, the 2013 Hilton Head Island PGA Teacher of the Year. And David, we've also got Henrik Stenson in the studio. We just had him swing.
Yep.
We've got him here on TrackMan.
There he is.
We've got some numbers. Let's go ahead and run through it and let's find out what we see.
Well, you know, we talked earlier about the TrackMan and the power of the information, and now that the consumer can get the same information, it really hits home and makes sense to them. We've got over maybe 60, 70 tour players in the computer, so when you look at their golf swings and break it down, like Henrik Stenson, you know, the world's best player in my opinion right now.
Ooh, we were bringing that up before. Bob and I were debating that in your first part of the show. I think so too.
You know, wouldn't you want to see what his numbers are?
I do.
Don't you want to see what his club speed is, or his attack angle, or the path, or the club face? So that's what this allows us to do. And not that we have to be Henrik Stenson, but if we take a look at his golf swing, which is just absolutely super, we're going to find out some numbers. His club face was -1 degree closed. His path was 0.3 degrees in to out. His attack angle -2.2. And then some other information, he carried the ball 286 yards. The spin was low, around 2,100, and the total was 306 yards. Now, his club head speed, again, is 111 miles an hour. The PGA Tour average is about 112. So when people come and say, I want to hit it far, this has told us that for every mile per hour the club head travels, the ball goes 2.5 yards. So if you have 100 mile an hour club head speed, the ball is going to carry 250
Now we're talking,
yards.
David, with the correct amount of spin, and we're assuming that probably somebody came into it
Right.
pretty close with the numbers that we're looking for. Usually with the driver in the spin range of
Right.
2,200 to 2,800, somewhere in there. Are
Yeah.
those fairly close numbers, would
Yeah.
you say, or is there numbers
Well,
you prefer a little bit more?
You know what I learned going to TrackMan University and finding out information about how to fit people and how to teach people with this device is you can change their numbers to get more distance than you can make them swing faster or harder. So I wouldn't move you from 100 mile an hour club speed to 110 miles an hour, but I might move your attack angle from -5 to +1, and all of a sudden you've gained 20 yards. So I like to get the spin in an optimal spot. We want a good launch angle, we want the ball to carry, and of course with minimal spin, like 2,500 RPMs, you're going to look at the ball rolling out. And so that's what we've found successful at our Golf Academy, is to get the numbers to look favorable, not can you swing harder at the ball.
And just so everybody knows what David's talking about when he said the driver was coming in at -5 degrees, so if this were the ball, it means the driver was coming down into it a little bit, and that produces a lot of spin, which for a lot of you that feel like you hit the drive real solid, but the ball kind of throws itself up in the air and then just kind of dies. The difference would be is that now if I start coming up into it at about 1 degree, now I get less spin and the ball flies a little bit more like the top of the Superdome or something like that, and I get, like you said, a little bit more run out.
Right, exactly, Chris. And one thing I learned that I didn't know as a golf professional for 20 years was with irons and everything on the ground, you're hitting down on the golf ball and the attack angle is a minus number. The only positive number that is favorable in the game of golf is the driver, where your attack angle might be positive. Not only is it on a tee, but it's forward in your stance. That gives you the best distance. And so it's okay to have a minus attack angle with your wedge or 7-iron. It's not okay to have a minus attack angle with the driver.
And that's what you were referring to. So in other words, instead of trying to get me to swing harder, we're going to try to stop me if I'm doing this and try to get more coming up into it. Let's talk about the Combine feature here on TrackMan, because that's really cool.
Yeah, I really love the Combine. What that is a litmus test, excuse me. It's a skills test that basically you hit 10 different yardages, you hit 6 balls with each yardage, and on a scale from 0 to 100, it gives you the quality of shot. So if you shot 100 on your skills test, nobody has, you'd be perfect. So the PGA Tour average is about 90, 85 to 90 on the skills test. The Club Pro level is probably around 70, 75. Some college kids that we have had come are in the low 80s, you know, future tour stars. And so what it does is it takes that data and you can compare yourself to a tour player. So if you wanted to look at the senior tour, nothing personal, Chris,
okay,
but senior tour players, and see where you are as compared to the senior tour players, you can do that.
And that's where I would look, just so you know. So you were spot on.
Right. So what a great way to find out, geez, my skills tests are great, they're tour comparable with my irons, but I'm not keeping up with the tour player with my woods or whatever it happens to be. So you can find your weakness, work on that, and see if you can get your combine score up and be comparable to the world's best players.
Well, needless to say, David, we just touched on a few of the things that TrackMan can do. I wrote down earlier 24 of the 26 readings that they get off of the machine, and it definitely can help you get your golf game better. The best players in the world are using it. There's no reason why you shouldn't take advantage of it also. And David Lepore and his staff have it over at the Colleton River Plantation Club. So, David, thank you for bringing this in. We're going to keep you around when we come back. You and I are going to talk a little bit and throw a tip out there at the people, especially our visitors that aren't here playing in the southern Bermuda grass that much. You're watching Golf Center here on WHHI Sports.
We are back with Hilton Head Island Teacher of the Year, David Lepore from Colleton River. You know, in the experiences that I've had this late fall, my own golf experiences, and I caddy down at Harbortown and helping the players around the golf course there, the mixture of the Bermuda and the ryegrass coming in with the overseed, and then in some places there is just Bermuda grass. It can be tough to get the ball out this time of the year when it goes dormant, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do. You have to change your game during the year. Mm-hmm. You can't just expect to have the same golf game all year, and you change equipment. And Chris, you talked a little bit about the Bermuda rough and things that give you a hard time.
Well, this time of year, needless to say, it dries out. And the ball falls right through. As you and I saw, we were at Indigo Run the other day playing in the season-ending Pro for the Hilton Head Island PGA, around the greens and in the rough. A couple of times we had to drive around in the rough to try to find the ball.
Yeah.
Lord forbid we walk.
Yeah.
But point being, it's a very challenging play. And it's actually one of those plays, David, where the golfers, you got to kind of take your medicine on that, because if not, it can make it a whole lot worse.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. And you know what I tell a lot of our students at our golf academy is, you have to practice it. You have to throw balls down in the rough. You have to hit fat shots. You have to hit thin shots. And if you expect the perfect lie like you get on the tee box at the driving range and you go out and play, you're not going to get that. So how many people hit 100 balls sitting in the junk? Nobody, because it's not fun, it's not rewarding. But yet when they go out and play, chances are they'll be able to pull the shot off if they spent some time with it.
Let's talk about the full swing first of all. When you're in the heavy rough, I think most of our viewers, if they play it smart, concede down to a wedge, a 9 or 8 to get the ball back into play. But let's say we're around the green, we don't have a very long pitch or chip, and the ball's sitting down.
Yeah.
We don't want to go ahead and take our problem and multiply it. We definitely have to make sure we get kind of out and onto the green.
Sure. Well,
what do you like to see done?
You know what? Our basic goal at the Golf Academy is to get the ball on the green and 2-putt. Okay. We like to use a wedge that has a large flange on it.
Big bounce.
Play it back in your stance. Make sure you catch the golf ball as close as you can to clean, and then almost play it like a sand shot sometimes, where you're actually intentionally hitting the ground, which is pretty rare in golf, where you're trying to take the ground into consideration.
So we really want to make sure on these shots, bigger flange club, swinging through, commit to the shot.
That's right, and don't be afraid to hit it over the green.
Don't be afraid to hit it. I almost did that a few times the other day. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed our show so much today. We can't thank David Lepore enough for coming in and bringing us TrackMan, and congratulations to you on being named Teacher of the Year. That's wonderful.
Absolutely, congratulations. We'll see you next time
right
on
here on
Golf Center.